Chelsea fans, welcome back to Talking Chelsea. Welcome back to your Chelsea news. We have updates regarding Mohammed Kudus to Chelsea. Mayann is forcing a move to Chelsea this summer transfer window. A surprise Premier League club has come in for Kepa Arrizabalaga, and Antonio Conte wants Chalaba. Now, of course, I'll be giving my own thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported, but more importantly, I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments.
And before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content. We're on the road to 10k by the end of 2025.
Fabrizio Romano has reported that Arsenal are informed on a £5 million release clause for Kepa as an option to be David Raya's backup. Initial talks took place to be informed on deal conditions, as Sky UK reports. This is huge. Get this guy out of our club. This guy is a leech. He's just taking our wages. We signed him for mega money. It didn't work out. And when you really think about it, he was a horrific goalkeeper for Chelsea. Yes, he had some good moments, but he had so many bad moments that outweigh the positives. We really wanted Kepa to work out at Chelsea. I feel, a little bit sorry for him in terms of the price tag that was over his head. He was like the world's most expensive keeper at that age. It was meant to be like Courtois' replacement in the long term. And it failed miserably. And the one thing that I don't really like about Kepa is the constant disrespect he's shown this club. Regardless of, well, to be fair, I don't even think Chelsea have shown him too much disrespect. He was our first choice. He was not great, let's be honest. He would concede goals from anywhere outside the box with his short arms, compared to, opponents just knew how to score goals against Kepa. Just shoot from anywhere outside the box. Inside the box, he's relatively good at cross collection, that type of stuff. But, mate, from distance, this guy conceded screamers after screamers after screamers just for, one or two seasons consistently. He just wasn't a great keeper for us, especially for the money we paid, the money he was on. We did manage to reduce his wages at some point during the contract negotiations, but essentially, for the last 3 years since the ownership, he's refused to play for us twice under two different managers where they said, look, we could really use your help. And he's like, nah, I don't want to play for you. But he's not got to the point where he's like, I don't want to play for you, I want to leave. He's like, I don't want to play for you, but I want to continue picking up my paycheck. So we've loaned him out a couple times. Obviously, he had a good spell at Bournemouth this season, and I'm genuinely happy for him to go and play football. You never want footballers to not play football. It's their profession at the end of the day. He's had a good season at Bournemouth, and some Chelsea fans still want him back. I personally can't see that. I don't feel like Chelsea will ever play Kepa in between the sticks ever again. I feel like he's gone this summer, and we're only asking for £5 million now. We're just like, can someone just give us some sort of change and you can have him? Now, if Arsenal want him, hey, do you know what? Arsenal seem to have this history recently of just picking up Chelsea players that just don't work out or at the end of their career or end of their contracts. So yeah, feel free, take Kepa. Do you know what? Let me know where he is. I will go pick him up and I'll drive him to your ground myself. I can't contribute, unfortunately, to the financial side of it as I do not have £5 million, but I will drive him there myself. If you want him, you can have him. Quite happily take him, especially, I think we're still paying him 6 figures a week. Still paying him 6 figures a week. He's not even playing for us. He's just going on loan and still picking up a paycheck. So I'm glad he's had a good season at Bournemouth because it means we can finally get him off the books this summer based on the season that he's had. And he's actually played okay, to be fair. Not as amazing as people seem to think, but he's had a good season overall. I will say that. Fair decent number of clean sheets, a number of shots saved, the key metrics you want for a goalkeeper. I just don't want him at Chelsea anymore. I don't like his attitude. He had the Sarri moment. He's refused to play for us multiple times. He's always had some sort of attitude problem. And yeah, look, I don't want to condemn the guy, but at the same time, I just don't want him in a Chelsea shirt anymore. We should just get him off the books. He's part of a very old rebuild now, which has been rebuilt like twice since. So it's time for him to go. Obviously, Chelsea don't want to let him go for free. They want to get some sort of money back because of the amount of money we spent for him in the first place. I mean, £5 million is nothing really, but it's still something. So yeah, if Arsenal, look, if you want him, look, Arteta, if you want him, great keeper, man. £5 million, absolute bargain. Back up for Raya, it'd be amazing. It would be absolutely amazing, especially if Chelsea play Arsenal next season. And God forbid Raya is not available and Kepa has to step in. That'd be fantastic entertainment. Just think of the fans watching. It'd be amazing football. So yeah, I just thought this was out of nowhere, complete surprise. Arsenal of all clubs want Kepa as a backup option to David Raya, which fair enough, man. Let's drive him there himself. Let me know what time to pick him up. I'll drop him there. £5 million, done. Let's get rid of this guy. But I'm curious to know your thoughts down below about Kepa. Would you still keep him? Do you think he deserves another chance in the Chelsea net? Or are you very much on my side of let's just cut ties with him, get him gone, get him off the books, and move on from that chapter? Sky Carver have reported that Chelsea have been offered the chance to sign Mohammed Kudus and have not said no at this stage and are considering whether to add him to the list of targets. During discussions, they were asked about the availability of Robert Sanchez. Now, yesterday we covered this and I kind of spoke about how it would be a fantastic signing. Kudos would be incredible in this Chelsea squad. He is a needle mover for sure. Bit confused as to where he would play though, because he typically plays on the right-hand side, and currently we have Neto and Noni and Esteval that can all play on that right-hand side. However, with Sancho going back and Mudryk basically, we're just forgetting that he exists apparently, according to the club. We have no one on that left-hand side. Yes, Noni and Neto can both play there, but that still frees up more space in terms of the wide areas. So you could see potentially Neto and Noni predominantly playing on the left-hand side. If we don't sign someone, I feel that we will go get someone like a Gittins, or heaven forbid we go out massive and try and get a Rodrigo. That would be unbelievable. Or Nico Williams, which would be unbelievable. Can't see that happening at this current stage purely because of the wages they want. Regardless, there is space for someone like Mohammed Kudus, but originally I thought this was just out of the blue and Chelsea put a bid in for him. This is, based on the reports we had yesterday, and obviously after I upload at 3 p.m. every day. And I try and get the 24 hours prior to make sure I can do the video on it. After that upload, loads more stuff come out about Kudos, and essentially it was West Ham that offered him to us, and then they asked about Robert Sanchez. I made a bit of a laugh and joke yesterday in yesterday's video about Sanchez, saying, why would we offer Sanchez and no one's going to want him? When the reality is, West Ham asked if he's available. So, hey, look, take him. Again, Robert Sanchez, get in the back, man. I'll take Kepa to Arsenal, and I'll take Sanchez to West Ham. I won't even ask for petrol money, all right? Just get in the car and we'll go. But I just found this very interesting that West Ham, Kudos is a fantastic player. He's one of their best players, right? Very decisive in the final third, very good at taking the ball from deeper areas and driving it forward, creating chances. You can get, not guarantee, but you could bet top money that he's going to finish a chance in the final third if it is needed, right? He's just a good clinical player. So for them to want to offload him, I don't know, it raises question marks for me, especially to a London rival like Chelsea saying, hey, do you want him? Yeah, of course we do. That would be amazing. He wasn't originally on our target list, as it's been reported. So Chelsea are kind of like, okay, this is the availability of Sanchez. Do we want Kudos? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, we'll offer you KDH and Sanchez and a bit of money, and West Ham has said, no, we want more cash. Fair enough. But this isn't so out the blue from the Chelsea side. We haven't gone in and bid for him. We've actually been offered him. So now we're considering whether or not to add him to the list of targets. Like I said, the only sort of question mark is he's a right-sided player. So what would you guys do? Do you feel like we need someone like Mohammed Kudus on that right-hand side? Does that mean that Noni Madueke will be sold in the summer if we go get someone like Kudus? Does it mean that Madueke and Neto are going to play a lot more on the left-hand side? So we've got more of a rotation on the right in terms of Esteval, Noni, Neto, and someone like Kudus? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below about Kudos. Would you sign him? We have some more about this because Kudos has obviously had his say about this. And I just thought this was very interesting. So this is the next thing that was reported. Sammy Mokbel had reported that Chelsea have engaged in early discussions for Mohammed Kudus, who is keen to leave, especially for a club that can offer UCL football. I feel like as fans, we underestimate the pull that UCL football has. And I feel like this summer transfer window, we are starting to see the importance of it a lot more than we have in previous years. And maybe that's from Chelsea fans' sort of history of, we're always in the Champions League. It's only recently that we haven't been. And now we're back in it. It's kind of like, we forgot that this brings this type of pull as well, especially as the stature of the club as well. But this on top of it, players are flocking to it, which makes sense. It's the biggest European competition, right? In European football, not at international level, at club level, of course. But I didn't know that Kudos wanted to leave. So if Kudos wants to leave and West Ham have offered him to Chelsea, we have Champions League football. He's all up for it. He's up for it. So I would say we make space, we buy him. We make a good deal that's not necessarily the £84 million release clause that he has set for Premier League clubs in the first 10 days of July. I also wouldn't want us to wait that long to kind of see, because if it's coming out now that he wants to leave for a Champions League football club, then look, that's just opens a can of worms of like, Kudos wants to leave. He's a good player. We play Champions League football. We can go snap him up. Because I feel like if he's been offered to Chelsea, he's obviously been offered to other clubs. Whether or not they've been spoken about, I don't know. But if Kudos wants to leave because he wants to play Champions League football and we can facilitate that move, I would 100% go for it because he is a needle mover in this squad. He'd be unbelievable in our squad. Imagine him playing on that right-hand side and you've got the likes of Cole Palmer, you've got the likes of Liam Delap and Jackson to link up with. On the left-hand side, you've got like Enzo's and Caicedo's, even the rotation players, you'd have like Andre Santos to play with. On the left-hand side, your Madueke's, your Netos. There's just a lot of variety of like attacking fluidity going into next season, which really does excite me. And it should excite a lot of us Chelsea fans. But I just didn't know that Kudos wanted to leave. I respect the fact he wants to go play Champions League football. A lot of players do. They want to be at the height of their career for as long as possible. I fully understand that. But yeah, I didn't know he wanted to leave for Champions League football. So that kind of plays into Chelsea's hand a lot more. Plus, with PSR, we are one of the healthiest positions of PSR, which makes no sense. I will talk about that at some point in another video because it's pretty wild. When you really think about it, we are loophole FC, but man, I think we're like top of the power rankings for PSR health in terms of what we can spend this summer, which is wild when you think about it. But anyway, I would like to know your thoughts about Mohammed Kudus. Would you sign him for Chelsea? Where does he fit? If we sign him, do we have to offload another player on that right-hand side? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. I would take him in a heartbeat. I think he is a needle mover. I think he really improves the squad. And at this current stage, before the transfer market gets a bit too murky waters, where there's just so much going on left, right, and centre, as of right now, I can't see a clear way of him coming in and playing straight away unless we offload someone like a Madueke or a Neto. I also don't see us intentionally letting those players go unless we get an offer coming that's just too good to turn down. So I feel like, how do we fit him in? But anyway, let me know your thoughts about Kudos to Chelsea down below in the comments. Matt Law has reported that Trevor Chalobah is attracting interest from Napoli. Chelsea have been delighted with Chalobah's performances and attitude since returning from his loan spell at Crystal Palace and are not actively looking to sell him. Nizar Kinsella reported what Trevor Chalobah said in a recent interview, and he said, "I've still got 3 years left on my contract, so I'm just focused on Chelsea at the moment, and whatever happens, happens. I just focus on the now and leave all the noise surrounding me or my future. I'm looking forward to the Club World Cup." This is why we love Trevor Chalobah. This guy is fantastic. He's a common graduate. There's a lot of emotional connection between the fans and Chalobah. He's also a fantastic footballer. He's not perfect. No footballer is perfect, right? Unless you're talking elite players. Trevor Chalobah has been a very loyal servant for Chelsea Football Club. The way he was treated has been an absolute disgrace. I will say that there's been a bit of a redemption arc this season, and this summer will add to that redemption arc in terms of how Chelsea treat him. I don't feel like it was any malicious intent behind it. I feel like the new owners just didn't understand the connection he had with the fans because he was a common graduate, and all they saw was a big plus in profit on a section of a spreadsheet and was trying to offload him. Giving him out to Palace, we shouldn't have loaned him out. We should not have loaned him out, and it proved evident when we recalled him in January and went, actually, yeah, we need you. He's come in, he's been a super professional, he's put his heart and soul into every game like he always does. He's won a Champions League, a Super Cup, the Club World Cup with this team. A very vital part of that team, very vital part of every team that he is part of. But he comes in and he's super professional, trains hard, plays hard, loves the club, absolutely bleeds blue. I'm hoping that we can keep hold of him. When he comes out and says stuff like this, you just got to respect it. I've got 3 years left on my contract and I just want to play football. We've got the Club World Cup coming up and I cannot wait. All the noise, whatever. What makes me laugh is if Chelsea are still actively looking to sell him, which I don't think they are based on the first report, if they're very, impressed with his performances and his attitude coming in, which I'm glad that they're taking notice of because it's obviously something they didn't see before somehow. I don't know. What makes me laugh is you've got Antonio Conte's Napoli interested in Trevor Chalobah, and Antonio Conte, whether you like him or not, is a serial winner, minus the Tottenham spell, but we know why that is. Same with Mourinho, to be fair. Regardless, and Conte wants Chalobah. Conte's just won the Serie A with Napoli. That speaks volumes. He feels like he can go straight into a title-winning squad. That speaks volumes on how good Trevor Chalobah really is. And that's what makes me laugh when these owners are like, yeah, he's profit, let's get rid of him. No, keep him. He is a very vital squad player. He's been solid for us since he's come back. He actually missed out on an FA Cup winners medal for us. Yes, all right, he got a European trophy in the Conference League and we secured Champions League football. And you can see how much that meant to him, which is amazing to see because he still has such a strong connection to Chelsea. He still loves the club, loves the fans. It's a massive part of his life. But I'm just hoping that the owners are starting to see now that yeah, he's a very vital cog into the ethos, the culture, and teaching the youngsters and showcasing what it takes to win things at Chelsea and play for this club and play with pride. And I'm hoping that they don't offload him this summer. I hope they turn down any offer from Conte's Napoli, because Conte loves a war chest and he likes going in big and buying players. And he's over the recent years he's started buying the similar sorts of players wherever he's gone. The number one example is Lukaku. Wherever Conte goes, he buys Lukaku. They don't go do well. They just work well together. There's a few other players here and there that Conte's rebought from other places. And we don't want to let go of Chalaba. So I thought this is very interesting. One, Chalaba's attitude of being like, I don't really care what they're talking about. I've got 3 years left of my deal, and we've got a Club World Cup. I'm super excited and just focused on playing for Chelsea, which we absolutely love. The owners have actually said that they're super impressed. They're not actively looking to sell him. They're super impressed with his attitude and his performances, which I'm so happy about. But again, he's being targeted by a title-winning side in Italy. So I'm very curious to know your thoughts down below. Should we keep Trevor Chalobah? Would you sell him if it was at your decision? And do you finally think that the owners are swaying around to the idea that Chalobah is a very valuable asset to have? Football Italia have reported that Mike Mayann's not prepared to sign a new deal with AC Milan, with reports indicating he has informed the club that his heart is set on Chelsea. The contract situation does rather force AC Milan's hand. And Ben Jacobs has reported that Mike Mayann has informed AC Milan he wants to join Chelsea. The Italian club are still holding out for £20 to £25 million, but the goalkeeper has made it clear that he wants to leave. This is huge. Chelsea need to get this deal done. Now, yeah, you might say he's washed after last night's game, and it was unbelievably entertaining game, right? But he's France's number one goalkeeper. He's such an improvement in our goalkeeping position, especially with these murmurs of West Ham asking about Sanchez's availability. Yes, we've got Petrovic coming back, and I want to see him fight for that number one position, but I want Mike Maignan in goal. 20 to 25 million. Chelsea have initially said, like, look, he's worth 8.4 due to the fact that he's got 12 months left in his contract, which I think is very smart business, because they're looking at it from a statistical standpoint and going, but he's only got a year left of his contract, so we're not going to give you 25 million for him. That makes no sense financially. However, AC Milan's sort of standpoint is he's one of the best keepers in the world. So we are going to let him go because he doesn't want to sign a deal. We don't want him to run down his contract and go for free next season, because then he's also turning 30. So Mike Mayann, in terms of a deal, is probably going to get offered less, even though he could take more in wages because it'd be a free transfer and you get a huge sign-on bonus. However, he's told AC Milan, I want Chelsea, man. I want to go to Chelsea this summer. I'm not signing a new deal, so figure it out. And I love that about the player, because this is the difference from someone like, I don't know, Victor Osimhen. Let's just use him as an example, right? So Victor Osimhen has never outwardly said, I want Chelsea. I don't care what my clubs, they figure it out. I want this move, which has always eluded Chelsea fans to talk about it a lot more and keep up with the hype train and the speculation. I mean, I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but yeah, his move to Saudi looks like it's fallen apart because he's demanded too much money, which, just quickly, if Saudi Arabia football clubs are saying you're asking for too much money, you need to reevaluate yourself. That is wild. Anyway, I like the fact that Mike's gone, I ain't signing a new deal, I want the Chelsea move. So it is just down to Chelsea to go, all right, we want him. It's a great opportunity to get a player like him. He is a needle mover. He instantly improves our defensive line. We just don't want to spend 20 to 25 million. But they are interested in, giving a bit of cash plus incentivized add-ons, which, of course, as long as they're achievable, which they're more likely going to be, then we will pay that a little bit more. So I feel like Chelsea are going to offer around, I don't know, 12 million euros, right, for example, as an upfront, and the rest in add-ons of like 8 million euros in add-ons. So they get their 20 million, but it's not all at once, and it's if, Mike Maignan hits these add-ons, which I think is probably going to be achievable. I feel like Chelsea, they're not being difficult about it. They're actually being relatively smart, and I really respect it this season, because there's been other windows where we've spent like 80 million on Mudryk. Like, what? What's that all about? We overpay for players normally because of the Chelsea brand and the fact that we've always got money, right? So people slap a premium on, we still pay it, or we know the owners are very smart on spreading the costs over multiple years. It's like Brighton. Our Chelsea are interested, 100 M's, but we still pay it because we want the player, right? It's wild. So this summer transfer window, I'm very, very proud, and I respect their decision of their digging their heels in, being a lot more logical, a lot more smarter about it, and going, he's only worth 8.4 statistically on his 12-month contract. It's basically buying out the contract and you get some profit off of that too. That's what we'll pay. They're saying, no, we want 25 million. I feel like we will come to some common ground, but the big needle mover here is Mayann wants to move to Chelsea. So Milan are in a position now where it's like, well, he don't want to play for us. He can sit on the bench and run his contract down, but regardless, we will need a new goalkeeper. So it's either we take what Chelsea offer, or we have to go spend more money than that to buy a new goalkeeper, or use the backup that we've got, which I don't currently know off the top of my head. So it does put them in a bit between like rock and a hard place, really. So it's very, very good for Chelsea and Chelsea fans, because I really want to see this deal happen. Whether or not it's before the Club World Cup or not, I don't know. There was other reports suggesting that they want a decision by Monday, like Chelsea want a decision by Monday, or they're going to move on. Again, I feel like this is just a sales tactic of like, look, we'll take him. This is what we're offering, but you've got till Monday to decide, because if not, whatever. And I feel like that leaves AC Milan in an even tougher position. The player don't want to sign a new contract. The player wants to move away. The club that the player wants to move to is only offering a lower amount, and they're giving you a very small deadline because they don't like what you're asking for in terms of a player on a 12-month contract. 12 month left on his contract. So it's very, very interesting. I feel like Chelsea have got a very good position. They're doing this power play very well. It'll be very interesting to see how much AC Milan are willing to accept and how Chelsea structure this deal. But I do feel like this will happen. It's just a lot of hopium. I'm hoping that this happens, because this would be absolutely huge. And then if it comes to Kudos as well, we want to go down that route, and West Ham wants Sanchez. That could take some money off of that release clause as well. I feel like it'd be very, very smart business from Chelsea. But I'm very curious to know your thoughts down below, regardless of last night's international game, which was an absolute spectacle for a neutral. Let me know your thoughts on Mike Mayann. Would you take him at Chelsea? Do you want him at Chelsea? Do you feel like Chelsea can get this deal over the line on their terms? Do you feel like they'll buckle to AC Milan's terms to get it done by Monday? Very curious to know your thoughts. And that's the latest Chelsea news. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported down below in the comments. I love having a conversation with you guys. And if you have watched this video all the way to the end, firstly, you're a real one, and I mean that, you're a real one. But secondly, there'll be a thumbnail appears on the screen. So if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content, make sure you click that thumbnail, because you'll enjoy that video too.